Welcome to Aiding Your Game. This week we're going to talk a little bit more about world building. Let's get to it. Before we dive too deep in, make sure you hit that subscribe button to help us grow. Also give us a thumbs up, hit that bell if you want notifications when we post new content. As you're playing in your RPG of choice as the GM, as you're setting the stage where your PCs are going to be operating and at play, I see a lot of people questioning how much do they have to do in pre-prep. Depending on your experience level, you may have goods that you've already created that you can recycle from former campaigns. There's also a plethora of information, knowledge, maps, tips, and tricks online. And with social media, you can quickly reach out and get feedback from other hobbyists like yourself. But if you're looking for consistency, the ability to reference back to established items that you've already put in front of your player characters, keeping all of your information in one area is definitely vital and crucial. And driving for consistency, you want to be able to know different areas of your game world or worlds, what you've already presented, and what the characters enjoyed, so you can build upon that. Now, there are already lots of videos, tutorials, blogs, vlogs talking about world building. We've done a little bit early on as well. And again, I still stick by my recommendation of start small and build up from there. And even if you are an experienced GM who has established campaign game worlds, sometimes it can be very refreshing to start fresh and change up your regular locations, looking at it from a different point of view. With my campaigns, even though I'm using the same game world that I have had since the early 90s, I look at different areas on the map that haven't been as explored or defined. Start small with a small province type area where I can quickly pop in just a couple of towns, interesting locations, map those out, present them to the player, and then allow them to get very familiar with a smaller section before opening Pandora's box of an entire game world that they're able to explore. This does three things for me. The first is I'm able to really focus on better details for the immediate area. Moving from one city to next generally doesn't have massive variations in topography, geography, and physics. But it's big enough that I can still have big distinguishing differences from one area to the next. The players can be exploring along a seacoast and, like in California, just an hour away, high up in the mountains. Topography can be varied enough to give lots of interesting differentiation, but not on such a grand scale that I get overwhelmed and lose track of what I've already presented. By starting small and focusing deeper in, not only can you get a good gauge for what the topography and geography is, but also the persons who are in that location. You can really determine the levels of magic, levels of sophistication, any type of religious impacts, indeed what the entire government of the region is. By focusing on a small area and working to increase that area of exposure for your PCs is very beneficial for you as a GM in that you're able to really focus in and get fantastic detail, but also for the PCs so that they don't feel too overwhelmed. Now, if you're playing higher level campaigns, this may be more challenging as players can have more dynamic opportunity to travel greater distances, whether that's by airships, maybe they've got dragons as mounts, whatever the case may be. This may need to be scaled up based on the starting level. However, for newer GMs especially, new game tables, and again for fresh perspective, I really recommend that you start players at lower levels so that they can build teamwork, find out how the players are going to play together at your gaming table, and really drive an opportunity for them to connect with their characters on an intimate level so that They understand the complexities of the class, the race, and how they fit into the picture of the adventuring group. By starting on a province scale, as kind of ruled out in the Dungeon Master's Guide, gives you a wealth of opportunity to have a decent sized area that you can map out and have your players explore. You can make changes on the fly as you need to based on the interactions of the players and their PC and the feedback that you're given by your players on what they're enjoying and not enjoying, without making world-changing ramifications to your game world. Starting on a province scale really drives an opportunity for you to continue to dial in lore that you may have built in previous times and not been able to explore since that area's creation. By driving a province scale starting point, you're reaffirming to your players that you've got a good grasp on the game world. They have established areas that have local interest without having to overcome massive challenges of travel or go searching for huge amounts of information or opportunity for their characters to explore in advance. And you're more able to keep a focus on the interactions of your players to your game world, your NPCs, your stories, and your storytelling style. By keeping your starting locations province scale, I feel you're going to benefit in your dynamic growth as a game master, as well as storyteller, and your players will have a more intimate knowledge of not only the stories you're trying to tell, the game world as a whole, but how you present the information of topography, geography, and the nuances of your gaming world. Now, if you're using established materials, most of this is already laid out, especially with Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. The majority of their items are based on the Sword Coast. Again, most of them have enough information for you to start out small. You can build upon that just by doing searches for Faerun. So much of the game world of Faerun is unexplored in the current 5th edition published materials. However, there's so much detailed information out there from previous editions that you're able to download, absorb, change, and alter based on gameplay that you've already experienced in your published adventures. If you're looking at starting a new campaign, creating your own homebrewed campaign world, or expanding on published materials, and you're looking for opportunity to explore more areas in that world, make sure to leave a comment below and let me know how you're going about those approaches. Any information that I can help pass along, I'd be happy to. Of course, at Green Oaks Gaming, we do a lot of world building, map design, NPC generation, and storytelling idea assistance. So if you're in a bind and need a hand, leave a comment below. We'll be happy to reply. I hope this video has helped dial you in and get you set to start a new campaign, begin a fresh campaign, focus on the play area that you're going to be utilizing for your campaign, and got you starting to think about what you're going to feature as the stage your players are going to send their characters upon. Join us next week. We're going to jump back into a little bit of discussion on religion again in gaming systems. Thanks for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was enlightening and informative. Here's another video we think you may enjoy. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to help us grow. Remember, we launch new videos every week to try to help you answer the question of where will your adventures take you.